And for the new students, regarding syllabus, you people look at the recorded video. So in that video, I have given the syllabus. Okay. Yes, I'm recording. Don't worry. So it is recording. So regarding syllabus, you people go through the recorded video, and first 2 classes, you people have to go through recorded video. Okay. Because it's all about computer definition, definition of software, hardware, differences, and all, and what is the entire computer system architecture. Those things we have discussed. Anyways, those things again regarding definition of computer applications, characteristics, we will discuss in first chapter. And regarding the definition of software, programming languages, types of programming languages, once again we will discuss in software concepts chapter. But with respect to C++, if I explain from first, you people can catch the things. Okay. Whenever your friends are joining newly, taking admission in this college, you people please tell to them not to miss the classes. So they'll be thinking like we can watch recorded videos. Don't do like that. You attend the live class. If you are getting any doubts, you can watch the recorded video. First preference is live class. Okay. So the chapter name is introduction to C++. I think it's visible. It is not a problem, right?
It's visible, sir.
I'm writing on the board.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So, if I want to learn the language, first of all, language is a medium to communicate. Okay, language is a medium to communicate between 2 things. Either we can say from user to machine, or machine to user, or machine to machine, or user to user. That means between human beings. Okay. So if we want to communicate between human beings, we use regional languages, right? Like English, Kannada, Telugu, Tamil, German, French. We use regional languages. Okay, depending on the region or the city or country we use. And to communicate between the human being and a machine, so we cannot communicate by using regional languages. So we have to go for one more type of language. That type of language is called as programming language. Okay. So program means it is a set of instruction. So instruction given for the electronic machine to do the work. If we want the electronic machine to do work for us, to do favor for us, then we have to give the instruction for the electronic machine. So directly by speaking in regional languages, it will not accept. So we have to write the code. So it is called as coding. Okay, we have to write the code, and that code will be written in one of the type of the language that is called as programming language. So only it is called program. Okay. So that, and the program word is, so you have to write PROGRAM. Don't write MEME. PROGRAM. That is the word program. So which is related to software. Okay. So we have to learn programming language in order to communicate between to the electronic machine. See, now when we use the mobiles, okay, those who don't know the programming languages also, they can operate the mobiles, right? Because we are operating, okay. And now you people are learning programming languages. Before you started learning C++ also, you have used the mobile. The thing is, already softwares are built in that. Okay, softwares are developed and installed in the mobile. So we can use directly mobile. But if we want to develop one software, if we want to develop one app, one application, then we need to learn programming language. Okay. Now let us think how to learn the language, because we have learned the language. That is, many languages we have learned. So we know mother tongue and we know English and all. So we have learned. So how to learn a language? So there are some steps. Now let us consider English language and programming language. Okay. So if I want to learn English language, the method, the steps what have followed, or what we have followed is, so first step is alphabets. As you know, we have learned from nursery and primary. So first step is alphabets. Okay. After learning alphabets, so next step of learning English language is words. Okay. Second step. So third step is, it is sentences. And the last step is paragraph. Alphabets, words, sentences, paragraph. So in this way we learn the English language. If you consider any language other than the English, like Kannada, Telugu, Hindi, Tamil, there are some steps, right? In Kannada and Hindi also we will learn the alphabets only. Right? Next we will frame the words, we will frame the sentences, we will frame the paragraphs, right? But in case of regional languages, we have two types. Like one is spoken. Okay. So another one is spoken and written. We can consider two types of languages: spoken and written. We will say spoken English. So some courses are there, and written English. So there are two things: spoken English and written English. So in case of written English, we have to follow the grammar. It's very important. When we write the English sentence, we have to follow the grammar. But while speaking, actually while speaking also we have to follow the grammar. But if there is little bit mistake in the grammar, the receiver can understand. It's not a problem. But depending on the context, we have to speak. That's it. So a little bit less preference for grammar in the spoken English. But when you write the English sentence, 100% importance is given to the grammar. When we go for the programming language, okay, when we go for the programming language, so here also we have steps. So I can say steps to learn C++. Steps to learn C++.
ट्राई करूंगा अगर मनी को मुझे ओके
Okay.
ओके ओके
So please mute from your side. Don't disturb the class. Okay. So if we consider the steps to learn C++ language, okay. See, in case of English, it is alphabets, right? In case of C++, we can consider the first step as character set. You should not call it as an alphabets, it is the character set. The thing is, when we learn the alphabets, what rule we are following, that means how we are learning alphabets in case of English. In the same way, you have to learn character set. If you say alphabets of C++, it's fine, but technical term is character set. Okay. Then the second step is, see, if we compare with English, is words. Here are also words on there, but the technical term is called as tokens. Okay. Second step of learning in C++ is tokens. The third step is sentences only, but technical term in programming languages it is statements. Third step of learning C++. Next, the last step is program. So in case of English, it is paragraph. Here it is program. Okay. I request you people to mute from your side, so don't disturb the class. Okay. So now, so steps to learn English is alphabets, words, sentences, and paragraph. Steps to learn C++ is character set, tokens, statements, and program. Okay. Now we'll go one by one. So we'll go for learning C++ because we know English. In the sense, not perfectly, but you can understand written English and spoken English, right? So now we'll go for the C++. And one more thing, whenever we learn the new subject, as much as possible, if we take the examples of known subject, then we can learn clearly. To some extent, we can learn. Okay, not perfectly. See, nobody is perfect in every subject. Okay, but to some extent, like according to the academics, according to the knowledge, according to the interview questions, we can become perfect. Okay. So now we will, while learning programming language, as much as possible, we will take the examples of English language. Okay. Everything we cannot take. In other subjects also, when lecturers give the examples of real world, for everything we cannot give the examples of real world. In some cases, it is not possible to. We have to compulsory follow that particular subject only. Okay, not only with computer science. We consider any subject. We can give the examples of real world, but in some cases we cannot give. So we have to follow that. Okay, here also, as much as possible, I try to give the examples of English language. So if it is not possible, you people have to understand with respect to C++ only. So when you people come in the track of learning C++, you will come to know how it is. Okay. Okay. So first step is character set. The definition of character set is set of characters used to write a C++ program. Okay. Set means group. So group of characters used to write a C++ program. Here when I say set of characters, first thing we should know what is a character. So here character meaning whatever the key present on the keyboard, it is called as character. Okay, in keyboard we have three types of keys: alphanumeric keys, special keys, function keys. Alphanumeric means which includes alphabets plus numbers, capital letters and small letters plus digits from 0 to 9. So these are considered as alphanumeric keys. Special keys means like control, alt, delete, shift and all. These are the special keys. Coming to the functional keys, F1 to F1. These keys are called as functional keys. So with respect to alphanumeric keys, you know what it is, like alphabets plus numbers. When we type from the keyboard, it is printed on the screen. But with respect to special keys, that is control, alt, delete, shift and all, and function keys F1 to F12, when we press these keys, it will not be printed on the screen. We can say non-printable characters. For some functionality, we use these things, that is special keys plus function keys, right? Now coming to the alphanumeric keys, see in alphanumeric keys, like alphabets plus numbers, again we can categorize it. Coming to the character set of characters used to write a C++ program. For this thing, characters set, so I can classify further. Okay, set means group of characters. I can classify further. So first category is in alphanumeric case, we can classify alpha plus numeric and numeric. That means alphabets and numbers separately. So if we consider first thing as alphabets, that category we can name it as letters. So letters in the sense capital letters A to Z, okay, and small letters A to Z. Capital letters A to Z and small letters A to Z. Second, okay, next digits. Because in alphanumeric two things are there, right? Alphabets plus numbers. First category is letters, capital letters. Second category is digits. It is nothing but 0 to 9. So 0 to 9. So this is the second category. And whenever you are writing the word 0 in sentences and all, you please write the word 0 and in the bracket you write 0. Okay, this you make it as habit. Word 0 in bracket you write the symbol 0. Okay. So this is second category. Third category is symbols. So third category is symbols. See, symbols means whatever the symbols present on the keyboard, like plus, minus, brackets and all. See, in particularly in symbols, what happens, we have to remember the technical term. Because when we consider the symbols, we got symbols from English language only. In English language, they'll be calling by different name. But when you go to the programming language, you have to call by technical term. Okay. See, for example, we have the brackets. We have three sets of brackets. This is one set, and second one, this is the third one. Okay. For all these brackets, even in mathematics also, it is not called by one name itself, right? So into bracket, square bracket, flower bracket. Okay, so this is the into bracket, square bracket, flower bracket. When we speak with respect to programming language, that brackets are same, but meaning terms are different. We will not call into bracket or flower bracket. All terms are different. That's what I will tell you. What are by what terms we will call those things. So for this pair, that is whatever the into bracket present in mathematics, for this pair, so we will call it as parenthesis. Remember, P-A-R-A-N-T-H-E-S-I-S. If it is not visible properly, I am repeating. P-A-R-A-N-T-H-E-S-I-S. Parenthesis. Okay. And we have two things, right? So one we can consider opening or left, and another one we can consider right or closing. So this is called as left or opening parenthesis. Okay, next. So this is considered as right or closing parenthesis. Right or closing parenthesis. Okay, left or opening, right or closing. So this is about parenthesis. Next, when I go to the second thing, that is, you need not call it as a square bracket. You can just call it as a brackets. You can call it as a brackets. Here also same thing. So this is left or opening bracket. Next. So right or closing bracket. Okay. Next. Coming to the flower bracket. So for flower bracket, you should call it as braces. BRACES, braces. Okay. So for this, we will call it as left or opening braces. Next, right or closing braces. See, if we learn the terms, then we can solve the errors in the program. See, sometimes what happens, some students or people will be learning programming languages in institute. What they do directly, they start teaching programs. Not all institutes, some institutes they are. After 1 month or 2 months of course, I came across, I heard that, sir, we did not understand anything, simply we paid the fees. So if they start teaching programs directly, this will be a problem, because when we write a software, remember, when we write the program, 100% we come across the errors. Okay. So in that case, if you had the program and if you type, you will not get errors. But if you understand the program, if you try to write, you get errors. So when you look at the error message, if you want to understand the error message and if you want to solve the error, if you remember the technical terms, it will be very easy for you people to solve the errors. Okay. Still, there are many symbols. So whenever I come across those symbols, I will tell the technical terms of those symbols. Okay. So parenthesis, brackets, braces, left or opening parenthesis, right or closing, left or opening bracket, right or closing bracket, left or opening braces, right or closing braces. Okay. So these are all symbols part. Next, fourth category of character set is it is called as backslash character constants. So two more terms are there, I will tell you later. Just remember backslash character constant. Why these things are called as backslash character constant means whenever we write this type of character, okay, that is backslash character constant. See, here everything is character. Letters, capital letters A to Z, small letters A to Z, characters. Digits 0 to 9, those are the characters. And all these symbols, characters. Next, backslash character constant, these are the characters. But we should know how to write. Capital letters we know, small letters we know, digits we know, and symbols we know how to write. Coming to the backslash character constant, name itself tells backslash character. Backslash character means you have to use this symbol, backslash. This is called as backslash. Right? See, we should notice the difference here. In systems we will be using without knowing the difference, not without knowing the terms. So this is called as backslash and this is called as forward slash. For everything, if you call it as slash, in some cases we have to use backslash, in some cases we have to use forward slash. That we should know where we have to use backward slash, where we have to use forward slash. So this is called as backward slash and this is called as forward slash. So in case of backslash character constant, what we do, we write the backslash. After backslash, we will write one letter or a symbol, and that is already present in software. Those letters and symbols only we have to use. We cannot use our own symbol or a letter. Okay. So backslash n and next backslash t, like this. Many are there. So I will give the list later. So n means new line. T means tab. I hope you saw the tab key in the keyboard. So what functionality it will do when you press tab key? When you are typing something, the mouse cursor will be moved to the right side. okay, by 8 spaces or 10 spaces like that. Okay, that is the functionality of tab. Horizontal tab is called as horizontal tab. Same functionality is done in case of / in C++ program. And when you use the Excel sheet, MS Excel sheet, if you are typing something in one row, in particular row and column, if you press the tab key, it will move to the next column like that. So tab has some functionality. So here it is used to move the mouse cursor to the right side by 8 spaces. Okay. N means new line. New line, one example if I can give is like when you use the MS Word, when you start typing after completion of one line, if you press the enter key, the mouse cursor will move to the next line. Same functionality here also. /n means new line means the mouse cursor will move to the next line. So in program, I will tell you how it happens. Okay. So this is all about character set. Character set includes set of characters used to write a C++ program. Classifications are letters, that is capital letters A to Z, small letters A to Z. Digits 0 to 9. Third category is symbols. For symbols, we have the technical terms. So whenever I come across the symbol, so I will tell the technical terms. I mean you remember this. Okay, parenthesis, brackets and braces. Next, coming to the last category of character set is / character constant. So whenever we use / character constant, always you have to use the / first, then you have to use the character. Character are nothing but like it can be letters or symbols. And those letters and symbols already present in C++ software. Only those letters and symbols you have to use. Okay. Now we'll go to the next step of learning C++ language. Next step is tokens. First step is character set, second is tokens, third is statements, last one is program. Now we'll move to the next step, that is tokens. Okay. So if you have any doubts still here, you can ask. So wait for a few seconds. Wait for a minute. If you have any doubts, you can ask, either chat or speak. Okay, fine. I hope you
No doubt, sir.
So we'll move to the next topic. And one more thing, like regarding notes. So yesterday I sent the notes. Some of you even texted me like, sir, we have written the notes and all. We want to move left side. So I will tell you in the program, I will tell you, don't worry. Okay. Regarding horizontal tab, vertical tab, carry is written in the program, I will tell you. Okay. So regarding notes, yesterday I have sent. Some of you texted me that, sir, we have completed notes. See, that is not the full chapter. So what I do, like once in 2-3 days or once in a week or twice in a week, I will be sending the notes. You people complete on that day itself. Okay. So that it will be not burden for you. After if you wait for completion of entire chapter, again some other subjects lecturers will send the notes. On that day itself, people need to complete all the subjects. So it will be burden for you. So whenever I send the notes, on that day itself you complete it and just you put a message in my WhatsApp to the personal number, sir, we have completed the notes. Okay. So maximum, I think 3 to 4 pages I will send, not more than that. Okay, even less than that only. So yesterday I think only 2 pages were there in MS Word. So just try to complete it. So if you complete it, whatever you have listened in the class, while writing, you just don't speak to your brothers, sisters, parents and write the notes. Concentrate on the notes and write. Okay, silently sit in a room and write it, so that whatever you listened in the class, you can get the things. And if you have any doubts, you just note down. In the next class, you ping me and ask, or you speak and ask, whatever it is comfortable for you. Okay, now we'll move further. So next step of learning C++ language is tokens. Okay. So in case of English language also, so it is called as words. Second step of learning English language is words. Here it is called as tokens. Only the term is changed. Okay. Only the term is changed. Term, you have to remember the technical term. Here also we use the words only. I will tell you how we can frame the words by using character set. In English also we frame the words. Term is changed and some meanings are changed. Okay. In English, second step is learning words. In C++, second step is learning tokens. See, when we consider the English language, if we consider entire one paragraph or many paragraphs or many pages in the notes or MS Word, if you consider one paragraph, in one paragraph, I can say sentence is one unit. Sentence is one unit of the paragraph. In sentence, words are the units of the paragraph. Word is one unit of a paragraph. Okay. So if you compare with the paragraph, sentence is the smallest unit of a paragraph. If you compare with sentence, words are the smallest unit of a paragraph. And if you compare with words, characters, letters are the smallest unit of the words. Okay. Now, if we go for the words, if I consider words are the unit of a paragraph or a sentence, and if you compare with sentence and the paragraph, words are the smallest unit of or individual unit of a paragraph or a sentence. Similarly, in C++, tokens are the smallest unit or individual unit of one program. Okay, one C++ program. Tokens are the smallest or individual unit of a program. So this is the definition of tokens. That is, tokens are nothing but smallest, or you can say individual unit of a program. So this is the definition of a token. Smallest or individual unit of a program. Okay, so tokens are the smallest or individual unit of a program. So in English also we have the classifications of words. So yesterday we have discussed it. So when we write a sentence or a paragraph in English, if you consider the words, in words we have the classifications like noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, adjective, article. These are the classifications of words, because for every word we will not call it by one name. Okay, so if I want to refer as pronoun he, she, and if I want to refer as a noun, name of a place or an animal or a thing, that is, or a city, this is nothing but noun. And if I want to refer as an action, so action words, that is nothing but verbs, running, talking, these are the verbs. Similarly, in case of C++ programming language also, for everything we will not call it by one name. In case of tokens, we have the classifications. As we have the classifications in words in case of English, in case of C++ also, for tokens we have the classifications. So those classifications are, so first one is keywords. So keywords, or it is also called as reserved words. Keywords or reserved words. Next, second, identifiers. Third, variables. Fourth one, it is called as constants or literals. Fifth, operators. So next, punctuators. So actually, the thing is like keywords, identifiers, variables, and constants we will often use in the program. Even operators also we use it. So we can consider these are the classifications of tokens, right? Now we will see one by one. Coming to the first classification, keywords. And one more thing, like it is not that if you learn in order and all, there will be link. Okay. For example, for identifiers and variables, there is a link. If you learn the concept of identifiers, then only you can go for variables. If you learn the concept of variables, then you can go for constants, like that. But if you want to go for directly operators, you can learn. It's not like this is in this order only you have to write. If I say write the classifications of tokens in any order, you can write. Okay. But step by step we will learn. We'll come to know how it is. Now coming to the first concept, keywords or reserved words, how we can understand is like in English language, if you don't know the meaning of any word in a sentence, what we do, we look at the dictionary, right? In dictionary, for particular word, meaning will be there. So by looking at that meaning, we will try to understand the sentence. Okay. So whatever the meanings present in dictionary, those meanings we will not change. At any time, we will not change. See, one who has invented English language or one who has written the dictionary, so those people have given the meaning. So we will not change the meaning of the words in the dictionary. Then what we do? We just use those meanings in our sentence, depending on the context, right? Similarly, in case of programming language also, there are some words for which meanings are there. Those meanings we will not change. So those meanings are fixed. I'm saying meaning, not value. There are two things, meanings and values. When you go for the constant, you have to consider value. Okay. So when you go for the keywords, you consider meaning. In mathematics also, if I say pi, for pi there is a value. And if I say like computer, for computer there is a meaning. If you look at the dictionary, there is a meaning. For pi, there is a value. Also for pi, meaning is there, but in addition to meaning, value is there. Similarly, here also, for keyword, you consider meaning. For constant, you consider value. Both are fixed only. Constant means value is fixed. Keyword means meaning is fixed. First, we discuss about keywords. Keywords are the words which are predefined. Okay. So, pre means before. Before means already. Okay. Predefined means already defined in the programming language, for which we will not change the meaning. So keywords are the words which have predefined meaning in C++ programming language. In general, all programming languages. If you learn C, Java language, HTML, or any other languages, there also keywords will be there. For keywords, meanings are defined, fixed. We will not change. So those are the words which have predefined meaning in programming language. Okay. By using those meanings, we can write the program. Here, one rule we have to follow. In what way they have written the keyword in programming language, in that way only we have to write. Okay. In case of C++, we have 32 keywords. Okay, that is for your first PUC syllabus, I can say. There actually 63 are there. When you, if you people are learning advanced C++, there you come across more keywords. Now let us consider 32 keywords. See, these 32 keywords, what they have done is they have written in lowercase letters, that is small letters. So we have to compulsory, we have to write the lowercase letters only. We should not change any letter to the capital letter. So we have to write in small letters only. This is the rule for keywords. All keywords should be written in lowercase letters. Every letter of the keyword should be in lowercase letters. If you try to change the keyword, that is from capital letter to small letter or small letter to capital letter, the meaning will change. Right? The meaning becomes identifier. So when I tell about identifiers, you'll come to know how it changes. So when we change the case of the, that is from uppercase, lowercase to uppercase in keywords, will change the meaning. So keywords should be written in lowercase letters. This is the rule of keywords. Okay. So keywords are the words which have predefined meaning in C++ programming language and should be written in lowercase letters only, that is small letters only. So this is about keywords. See examples if I want to give. Just 2-3 examples of you, because 32 keywords are not right here. In the notes it is present. You can copy in your notes and you can just look at the keywords. Okay. See, I have one word called as int. Okay, int. So we should write in lowercase letters only. Every letter, int, all the 3 letters you should write in small letters only, compulsory. So that is the keyword. Okay. The meaning of this is integer. So whatever the meaning we have in mathematics, same meaning it is there. The meaning is not changed, but it is fixed. The meaning is fixed. It will not change by program. So integer. Integer means whole number. If I write the numbers like 10, 100, or 210, these are the integers, where we don't have decimal point and fractional part. So this is the meaning of int keyword. And if I go for the keyword called as float, so keyword is float, its meaning is floating point. Its meaning is floating point. Floating point means, in case of mathematics, we have the real numbers. Real numbers means the numbers which is in the format of like 10.25 or 5.5 or 0.25. So these are the real numbers, where we have the integer number, decimal point, fractional part. 3 things will be there: integer number, decimal point, fractional part. These type of numbers are called as real numbers. It is represented as floating point numbers in programming language. Keyword used is float. So in this way, for every keyword, we will be having the meaning. Okay. So program by program or topic type of topic, if you come across the keywords, I will tell the meaning of the keywords, the keyword used and its meaning. Okay. But concept is same. concept is which have predefined in programming language, and we have to write in lowercase letters. So this is about keywords. And go for the next topic, that is identifiers. Okay. Okay. So identifier. This also we got from English language only. Identification, identify. So where we use this word? If I want to represent any object, if I want to call any object in real world, then I have to use this word, identify, identification. How we have identified. So what is the identification? What is the identity, right? For example, in real world, we have the objects like chair, laptop, table, trapeze and all. So we use the object names for those objects. Okay, that is called as identification. See, for laptop, we will not call it as a table or trapeze. For chair, we will not call it as laptop. That means for every object in real world, we have some identification. Okay. So what is that actually? Identifier or identification is nothing but a name given to the particular object. In real world, name given to the particular object. So by looking at the object, we can call, okay, this laptop is called as, this object is called as laptop. By looking at the object, we can say this object is called as chalk piece, this object is called as chair. Again, company name will be there, that is different. But by looking at that object, we can call by one name. And if you look at the living being, human beings, animals, like that we can identify. Similarly, in case of programming language, we have the programming elements. Okay. In case of real world, we have the objects. In case of programming language, we have the programming elements. Okay. For programming elements, if I give the name, that is called as identifier. Identifiers are nothing but the names given to the programming elements. Identifiers are nothing but the names given to the programming elements. In case of real world, we give the names for the objects. In case of programming languages, we give the name for programming elements. And if you give the name for the programming elements, those names are called as identifiers. Okay, understood? So, in case of real world also, we are following some rule to give the name. Okay, we cannot give the names as we like. There are some rules depending on the object, depending on the color, depending on the structure, physical existence. We will give the name, right? For example, if we want to give the names for human beings, we are following some rules. If we are giving names for animals, we are following some rules like that, right? Similarly, if I want to give the name for programming elements, we have to follow the rules. See, name is just one word, right? If I want to write the word, I have to follow rule. In case of keywords, only one rule is there. You have to write all the keywords in lowercase letters. In case of identifiers, we have the rules. First rule is starting character, you should not use a digit. Here I am mentioning character. Understand? Character means everything will come. Alpha, letters, digits, symbols. Letters, digits, symbols. In all these cases, we should not use digits at the starting point. Okay, starting character should not be a digit. Later we can use the digit. Okay, starting character should be either, listen here, capital letters, okay, or small letters, that is uppercase and lowercase letters, or underscore. So this is one symbol. Okay, topic by topic, if I come across the symbol, I will be telling you. Okay, because everything I didn't tell about in character set topic. Okay, underscore. I hope you people know this symbol. In keyboard, we have one key in which we have two symbols, minus and underscore. If you press that key without shift key, it will print minus, or hyphen symbol we can call it. If you use shift key, it will print underscore. So starting character can be capital letters or small letters or underscore. Digit should not come at the first place in case of identifier. Next, second, blank spaces not allowed. Blank spaces not allowed. That is, when you give the name, you should not use blank spaces. See, in case of human being's name, first name, last name will be there. Between first name and last name, we use blank space, right? So, in case of identifier in programming language, you should not use blank space. So, this is the second rule. Third rule, keywords should not be used. Keywords should not be used. This is the third rule. Okay, and fourth rule is symbols except underscore not allowed. That means other symbols are not allowed. Because we have all the symbols, right? Plus, minus, hash, dollar, and all. So, in all the symbols, only underscore symbol we can use in the name while giving the name, but not all the symbols. See, in case of generally in English language, when we give the names for human beings, this much rules will not follow, right? We will keep the names of the gods or some other great persons and all. But we will not say like we can use a digit, we can use underscore, nothing like that, right? But here it is there. Okay, if we want to give the name for the programming elements, we have to follow these rules. See, programming elements means when we start writing the program, we come across some elements. Like in English, when we start writing the English paragraph, we come across many things: noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, article, conjunction, preposition, like that, right? Same thing in programs also. In programming language, we have the programming elements. I will tell you. In the next topic only, I will tell you. Don't worry. You just remember, when we write the program, we have the programming elements. For every programming element, we have the name. And if I want to give the name, then I have to use the concept of identifiers. If I want to use the concept of identifiers, I have to follow these rules. These are the rules. Okay, starting character should not be digit. It can be capital letters, small letters, or underscore. Second rule is blank spaces should not use. Third rule, keyword should not be used. Fourth rule, symbols except underscore cannot be used. So, depending on these rules, I will give examples for how to write the identifier. Okay. See, for example, if I write the programming element as just one name, Ravi, okay, you just check these rules and you decide whether it is correct or not. It's very simple. Just check these rules. Starting character means this is the starting character. In starting character, what things it can be present? It can be capital letter, it can be small letter, or it can be underscore. Digits are not allowed. 0 to 9 digits are not allowed at the starting point. Yes, R is starting point. So, at the starting character, I have used a capital letter. Next, blank space is not allowed. So, in this case, if you want to give this second name, that is last name, so instead of writing Ravi space Kumar, so what you will have to do is, so you have to write continuously like this. So, this is correct, this is wrong, because blank space is not allowed. Okay, you should write continuously, or you can use the underscore. Ravi underscore Kumar. So in this way you can use it. But blank spaces you should not use. So if you write Ravi space Kumar, it is wrong because according to the second rule. Next, keywords should not be used. So there are 32 keywords. In all the 32 keywords, you will not come across the word Ravi and Kumar. So it is correct. Okay. And symbols except underscore not allowed. For example, if I write Ravi, symbol say dollar Kumar. So this is also wrong because dollar symbol is not allowed. Only underscore symbol is allowed. Even blank space is also not allowed. Only underscore symbol is allowed. So according to these rules, so this identifier is correct and this second and third is correct. First and last is wrong. Okay. So with respect to identifiers, variables, constant operators, we will discuss in the next class.